What's good? What's good, people? This is BillBiggz in the building, going live on the MPC1. About to make a beat. I got all my elements laid out so I could take it from scratch. I'll be showing y'all some of the process from a different angle as I get the beat going. In fact, let me do this now. I should just bring this around just so I could narrate. Alright, maybe if I keep it stationary and don't move it, it'll be fine. Let's try this again. So the first thing I like to do is label everything. I put my everything in song mode. So I put my bars, and we up late night, so forgive the raspy voice. So we switch my bars to 8, and I have my drum break that I'm gonna break down. Then I'm gonna build my beat around. I already have all my elements, so it's gonna be easy to put together. So this is the drum I'm using. Well, that's the break I'm gonna use. I want to see what the second part is, just in case I need it for the 16. All right, so I see what I'm doing here. So I'm going into my sample edit. And I'm gonna get rid of what I don't need and keep what I need. All right, so now I got my break kind of where I want it. I'm gonna chop that up and get that going. I chopped it up. I got what I want. I want to stretch it out real quick and make sure everything is tight before I turn that into a kit. So And then we're gonna do the verse. See, that's wrong. That can't be the tap tempo, so. We're gonna say it's about 79. I rock with that. Now this is a trick that I like to do. So you go into your program edit, you hit the top button on the corner, edit zones, go to multiple, and throw all of those sounds till they all light up so that everything is being affected at one time. Then you go on your envelopes, your amp envelope, and you curve it. It's going to look something like this. So again, I went to my program edit. I come back up here. I go to my multiple. I hit all my buttons to make sure that they're all lit up, all the ones that I want to be affected at the same time. I then close it out, go into my envelope, turn my amp, and you get see the big difference. Now this is really good to use when you're using melodies, because then they don't run and bleed and jump into each other all messed up. But the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I plan on adding more drums on top. So here we go. I'm gonna add my other drums on top. And you're gonna hear a major difference right away when I add my drums on top of the break. This is what you call making the drums just your own. Let me just cue this up a little bit better. And watch this. Nope, don't like it. Let's come back. Let's keep it going. almost right, but it's not completely right. So what I'm gonna do is take off the time count so I can play it a little bit more free and it don't be so tight. Now see, using that same method, all I did was take a little bit of the curve off, and you hear how it blended in with that? Now I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. And I'm going to go back into the time count. Just because I hear everything meticulously. So I'm going to go back into the time count, go to the arranger, hit the grid mode, go into those drums, highlight them both. Well, let's highlight them both. And let's nudge them back. We're going to turn the time counters off. Let's nudge them back a little bit. And it fell right in the pocket. Make sure y'all click subscribe, because I'm going to keep it going. But yeah, that's the drum part of this now. You hear that? I got the drums in pocket. I took the break, added my own drum to it. Now I have my own drum break. So I got some elements already that I want to use from this sample that I broke down. This is the original sample. Oh wait, that switched up. That switched up. Well, here, we're gonna get into it anyway, so I'm gonna put the bass line on there real quick. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that little piece, extract it. chop it. Yeah, I'm gonna chop that whole thing up. So we're gonna chop that up. Watch. Now tighten these chops up. The pieces ain't piecing. All right, it's coming together. all from the same elements from that one record. I'm getting the hook together, and then I'll have the verse soon. It's just a matter of catching what I like out of that and then adding that on to it. Chop that whole thing up just so I could just have different elements to play with. I'm just chopping it all up so I can get different elements from it and play it onto the beat. I'm probably gonna filter it too. Alright, so I got them all. Let me just go and run them real quick. Alright, so we got enough space on them. Convert that. I want to definitely filter that because it's too strong. So like I said, I already got my multi on. I'm going to go into, and I'm going to take some of that curve off the front so that way it's not so impactful and it'll blend into the beat. So I'm going to snatch that off a little bit, boom. Then I'm going to go into my amp, turn it to a low 8 filter, do the cutoff, and let's see how they start to sound. About right there sound. I can even turn it up a little bit. Now there's one more thing I want to do with that. Since I got them like that, right, and I'm happy with that particular sound, but I want a little bit of echo on it. And I want to apply the echo to everything. You got to go into your sound. bank, hit it to send. Not even a send. We're gonna use a submix. Or can we just use send? Nah, we're gonna use the submix. Go to submix one, hit effects, and we're gonna put it on analog, which is my favorite, I guess. Analog sync is my favorite one, I guess, because it's simple. Right, now I just got to turn it down from being so heavy. Give it less feedback. And there we go. So we're gonna just use that as a vocal inflection on the beat. I'm gonna ride with that. Got what I want, and that's basically the hook right there. Now I'm gonna go back in and work on the verse real quick. So 7850 is my timeline. I'm gonna just put in a whole new verse because I'm gonna want to do the drums differently. So when we go on to 7850, name it, because I always like to name it. So I name it verse. Now I could literally go and just copy and paste, but I want a different feel for the verse than I do on the hook. So I'm gonna do a different pattern on the hook so that it doesn't sound monotonous. So that's what's gonna go in as the verse. I'm gonna just lay that down real quick. And I literally go in and I do it all over again from beginning. Sometimes I copy and paste if it's one of those beats that I'm gonna use as a drum consistently. But if I'm gonna do switch ups, then I'll do a whole different pattern on the drums on the 16. Just cause when you rhyming as a rhymer, you be wanting different things to make you do different things in the verse. And before I was a producer, I was an MC, so still an MC, but so I kind of make my beats from that perspective of making sure that I'm writing, or I'm making the beat with a writer in mind. Make sure that y'all subscribe and y'all hit notifications so that y'all can check out when I go live. And I'm usually a late nighter, so that's when I go live. But here we go anyway. Let's get it going. I got to start that over. One, because I took off a time count, and that's the one thing I do want on time count. I can move it later. What I mean, you hear the break, but you don't hear the break like that. Once you add those extra drums on your break, it's gonna bring out your beat crazy. That's why you can take any break and make it your own, because once you add drums on top of it, it's your own drums, and you blend them right, crazy. You hear it. This is how it sounds with just the break, and here it goes with my drums at. A little secret now. Get your own breaks or find your break beats, even if this break was inside the beat already. So I just snatched it and added my own flavor to it. Now it's mine, and you won't even know where I got it from. But I also realized that a million producers can have the same sample and none of them will make the same thing. So I don't really be stressing it. I'm a TrackLib moderator, and I also swear by TrackLib. So if you want to find great samples to sample from, TrackLib is the place to go. Plus, you can clear the samples. So with that being said, yeah. lot more elements gonna have to go in to make it all come together, but I'm adding that. I'm taking that. I'm putting that in. Exactly what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna play that out, but to give the beat some different continuity throughout, I'm gonna have to add some strings and maybe a keyboard on top. So first let me lay this, and then I'll add the rest, and this will pretty much be done. And sometimes simple is good too. But coming from the beat battles, league, they always be wanting 50 million change ups and all of this other nonsense. So I sometimes do it to appease the crowd. But for the most part, all it needs is some extra keys and some strings. And it's saving right now, and it's gonna sound perfectly fine. And like I said, please make sure y'all subscribe for notifications for when I go live, for my tips, and for the Beat Battle podcast. Now, one of my favorite plugins to use is Hype, because they have different stuff you can use. And right now I'm looking I need a kind of a string, and they have a string brass, which is perfect. turn this up a little bit. Let's give it some EQ. There we go. Whew. Wait, I wasn't supposed to do that. Let me turn you off. Whoa, yeah. Turn you off and put you over there, because that was crazy. I almost blew my speakers out. I put the effect on the overall output. Never do that. Never do that. Not knowingly. Let's use the power EQ, because we just want to thicken this up. So another thing that's very important is panning, so everything is not crashing into each other. So I make sure after I put all my samples on one thing, I switch it over. Now I just got that on there. I'm gonna have to add another instrument. There may be another 2 instruments just to make it sound a little bit more interesting, but I can already hear the difference in the within the hook. You can hear that deep growl, and then when I switch over to verse, it's gonna go into a smooth transition. So on bar 5, 6, 7, 8, and now transition. So I want something right there, and I'm gonna have to start it off with something crazy, because I think I'm going keyboard on this one. I'm going stage piano. I always hate stage piano because it takes a second to load. It would have you thinking your machine ain't working, but it just takes a second to load, because it's such a powerful VST. So you just got to give it a second. It's not your machine. So the key is to find the perfect piano. Let's go with this upright. And I already know the key is F. I'm just waiting for it to load up. It takes a second. That's why I don't like using it sometimes, because it's such a big, there it goes, plug-in that, yeah. Saving. Another thing is I always I always I always put my thing on auto save. So even while I'm working, it automatically saves. A very important thing to do. You can find that in your preferences. Go into your hardware, make sure that you auto save your program. So even while you're working or something happens, your electricity, my shit tends to cut off sometimes because I'll be having the heaters on. So when I do that, sometimes power surges and shit like that. So you always just have an auto save. So when you go back to it, it'll always be there. Very important. But I'm gonna use that right there. And it sounded good with it. I'm gonna work it, I'm gonna take it, cause shit, why not? I'm in love with it. And I did it in an hour and 5 minutes. That's good time. No mix, straight dry rough. So I'm about to go into a song mode and put it together, but I wanted to make the beat in front of y'all. I'm going to set up my camera a little bit better on the next few videos that I do put up. But please make sure that y'all subscribe, because you know I'm striving to grow my channel and make it work. You know what I mean? So help me out, please. It's greatly appreciated. With that being said, this is BillBiggz. Peace.